So welcome to another box gathering campfire. Thrilled and excited to welcome on some wonderful guys from the Maverick Stars Trust. So we have founder and trustee Charlotte Gilly. How are you, Charlotte?
I'm good, thank you, Adam. Thanks for having me on.
And we also have a certain Dirty Derry Matthews, who has been a former guest on the box gathering, who has also been rather handy in the field of boxing, picking up world championships and British championships and all the championships and Olympic championships that come. So, Derry, how you doing, mate?
I'm good, mate. Cheers, thanks for having me again.
Well, pleasure. So, bigged you up there, and yeah, I'm sure that we'll be throwing a few sort of cheap shots at Charlotte in a minute. Anyway,
Very well.
It's all good. Anyway, in all seriousness, and of course, I've got my my partner in crime, Mr. Ivan Cobb. How you doing, sir?
Evening, buddy. How are you?
Yeah, all good, all good. Okay, so Maverick Star Trust, it's been going for several years now. So how long, Charlotte?
I've lost track of it, sorry, 2.5, I think.
2.5 years. Okay.
Yeah,
so
we've kind of lost a year, haven't we? So, yeah, about 2.5 years.
Sure. No, I don't really know where the cut-off point is for that year.
No.
Yeah, and it's something that I've seen a lot on social media. Obviously, you have a big involvement working with England boxing, and I know that you guys do a lot of tremendous work in local communities, especially around Manchester way, Liverpool way. Am I right in saying?
Yeah. All over the country, really, but it seems to be more concentrated there because that's where I'm from. It's easier for me to access. Yeah.
Of course. So yeah, tell us a little bit more about how did it all start up? What was the kind of gap that you saw to start up, or the need to start Maverick Stars?
I think being involved with my local boxing club, Simply ABC, they needed to raise funds to build a new gym, and it wasn't just raising the money, it was everything that goes with building a new gym, all the red tape of getting in touch with councils and getting planning permission, becoming a charity. And the head coach there, Mark Davidson, is an amazing coach, but just for him to find the time to do all that alongside his full-time job and running an amateur club and family, you know what I'm talking about. He just couldn't find the time to do all that. So I built a friendship up with him after competing at the club, and I just offered to step in and help him on achieve this dream he had of building a bigger gym, because the gym we've got at the moment, I think 60 square meters, which is tiny, and he's on a very big estate, and there's kids knocking on the door most nights wanting to come in, but we just can't fit them in. So it's been a dream of his for a long time to get this bigger facility. So I just started to notice the support that he needs, and the more I got involved in boxing and the more people I spoke to, and speaking to people at England boxing saying, there is a need for this support.
Mm-hmm. So then you saw a bit more of a wider picture moving on from Mark.
Yeah, well, once I set Mark up as a charity, I thought for me to raise money for him and for maybe some other clubs, it'd be easier if I set myself up as an independent charity. So that's what I did a couple of years ago, because I wanted to not just help Mark. I thought I can do that. If I can do it for him, I can do it for some other clubs. I didn't really think I'd do it on such a bigger scale, to be honest. It was really to only maybe help 3 or 4 clubs, but it's grown and grown, and I think I've done I've worked with at least 100 clubs now across England, and about 160 different projects. Because some clubs I do multiple projects with, but I mean, I can work with any club because it's my own charity. I've not got all the boxes to tick like you would have if you're applying for money from Sport England or local council funding.
Sure. Okay. So yeah, so you're kind of the master of your own fate there. You can see what the need is and really kind of jump in with that and support them quite straight without perhaps the red tape.
Yeah, and because I'm hands-on doing it myself, and I've got a couple of people now helping me, but originally, I can jump into a council meeting, or I can drive to Liverpool and chat to Derry and help fill a form in, or I'm lucky that I've got that ability to do that, and that's why my team's grown really over the last 6 months.
Sure.
So we've got somebody now helping with my social media and helping with other people getting publicity. So getting the boxers in the public eye, the boxing clubs in the public eye. So I think that helps. More people are aware of the need for the support for these clubs.
Yeah, absolutely. And just as you're speaking there, someone that you've been working with quite a lot, we've got Dave Rimmer coming on, who's just working out his camera situation, but I'm sure he'll be on in a second there. There he is. How you doing, Dave?
Yeah, very well, Adam. Yourself?
Yeah, very good. Good first session back, outdoors, pads and things.
Yeah, brilliant, mate. Great turnout, and it's just great to be back. Absolutely buzzing to be back, mate.
Absolutely.
Look how happy he is. Look at him.
Honestly, it's like Christmas. It was just brilliant. We had seniors, our little ins, our juniors. It was amazing, and I think everyone there feeling the same. Just couldn't stop smiling, mate. It's been brilliant.
I bet you feel on a high.
Honestly, I'm not going to sleep for ages. I'm buzzing, absolutely buzzing. Yeah. So sorry if I speak really quickly tonight. I'm like I say, I'm quite excited about the whole day, really.
Yeah, it sounds like you've had one of my Lindor little eggs. I think we were talking about them just before we pressed record. Buzzing with chocolate, mate.
Yeah.
So Dave's been doing some projects with you, but we'll come to Dave in a moment. Mainly because he was late, of course. You know,
Yeah,
pretending to be coaching, and. So obviously you work with a lot of high-profile people with their own gyms and things like that, and you work with Derry. So in what capacity?
Well, it's grown really. Derry and I got talking in lockdown right at the beginning, didn't we, Derry? So it was about a year ago about doing a food project around Liverpool. Well, I was doing it across the country, but I can't even remember how we ended up speaking, but Derry wanted to get involved and deliver food locally, which you did, didn't you, Derry, with Theo?
I don't know what, I was looking for the message back today. I'm sure I sent you the cheeky message saying, I think you were feeding the doing Manchester projects, and I said, what about us Scousers? Something along them lines, and then it just connected and. Listen, you've been a massive help.
That's how it started. So what about us Scousers?
Yeah.
So we got involved, didn't we? And Derry.
And then right away, you responded right away, and we fed everyone. I think we fed half of Liverpool.
I think you ran that project for the longest out of most of the clubs I worked with. So it was right up until we came out of I think it was just when the kids went back to school, which was July. So it was about 12 weeks.
What did that involve?
So we got in touch with a local girl who made some nutritious meals for the kids. She delivered them to Derry every day or every couple of days, and he went around delivered, because people couldn't come out, could they? They weren't supposed to be out at all. So he would go.
So yeah, I had to put them on most of all the doorsteps around Liverpool. I fed out on social media if anyone needed looking after, what food they needed, and a couple of care homes as well. We helped out, and I was just delivering food in my car daily, walking on my bike, and just putting food on people's step and letting them know I was there and walking away, because you couldn't even speak to them at the first lockdown. We couldn't even go close, so I just had to put it down, and walk away. But it kept me fit as well.
That's what I was going to say, because Derry's one of these coaches, like a lot of them, that needs to keep busy, and I think you were left, weren't you, with nothing to do? So it gave him something to do, and we did talk a lot, didn't we, about the other work that Derry needed to do in his gym and developing, and that's how we grew to be talking and getting these projects developed for when lockdown's over, which is happening now, a year later.
So Fit and Fed was one of those projects, wasn't it? Was that actually the name of that project, Fit and Fed?
Yeah, I don't like the holiday hunger thing. I think it's a bit depressing. So yeah, Fit and Fed. We did that. You did that over the summer holidays, didn't you?
Yeah, that was over the summer holidays for the kids. Yeah.
But we did. I think it was 48,000 meals we did over lockdown.
48,000 meals.
Yeah. Well, the day we got locked down. I think, what day did Boris lock us down? Was it a Monday?
Yeah.
I think I got my first meals out that week with families. Because we'd done it before, it was just so easy for me to just make a few phone calls. And obviously I had people willing to, as volunteers, to go and deliver the food or open the gyms up to have it as a hub, community food hub, we called it, that it just took off so quickly.
And how did you sort of measure the impact of that? What kind of feedback did you get from the
Just I mean
the people receiving it and the council, etc.?
Nothing from the council, although I did make them aware of what I was doing, but I'm not trying to knock the council, but all they wanted to use me for really was another person as a provision to rely on. That's what they were trying to find at the beginning, is charities that were supporting the community, so they knew what was left that they had to cover really, which was fine because I was going to do it anyway with or without the support. So I just work with each individual club, so we'd have weekly chats, feedback. I've got photos, videos of kids eating the meals happy. Some obviously didn't want to be identified. Sure. Nigel at Moss Side, he was going around in a van delivering meals. We did bags of food there as well for the families because they wanted to cook. They wanted to make meals rather than us deliver sandwiches for the kids. Okay. So we did family parcels of pasta and tomatoes, sauces and things like that. So yeah, it's a project.
What else, Charlotte? I sort of like, I love Nigel Sanders. He's an unbelievable guy. So I sort of like followed what he done. I do you know what I mean? I follow Nigel. I speak to Nigel regularly, so I seen what he was doing for his community. So he opened my eyes to anything's possible, and with the help from yourself, which has been massive, if I'm honest, because we might have lost our club, we might have lost a lot of fighters, a lot of kids. So I just followed on what Nigel done. Like, I tried to bring it to Liverpool, and luckily enough, we gelled and it's worked for us.
Yeah.
Fantastic. And is that something that's continuing at the moment?
Which one?
Was it more of a COVID type thing with the the fit and fed?
You know what? Since it's been very well marketed, hasn't it? The issue that the country is suffering with hunger. It's not just through lockdown, has it? There's a bigger issue that can't just be solved with giving a kid a sandwich. And I think it's hugely been addressed by, obviously, Marcus Rashford highlighted it, didn't he, and used his platform he's made great headway with what he's done. I don't think the problem's gone away. Certainly, it's still needed, but I don't seem to be getting the inquiries like I was. So I think people they're going to the right places to get the help. Because I was more like a sticking plaster, wasn't I? Which I hate being that. I want to find a long-term solution, but a national hunger issue I can't solve, but I can help. We can help do our bit, can't we?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And what about the Sting Like a Bee project? I mean, I see you have names like Burnley Football Club.
Yeah, well, that was another one that was supposed to start just before lockdown. It was all geared up to start the following week. So yeah, we've got Burnley. We've just been talking with Sheffield Wednesday. So we're hoping to do something with there. Because I was talking to Dalton after his win.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so we just got chatting about the football, and we've made a link up there. I'm trying to get a contact for Derry at Tranmere, because I think the football community work, all football clubs seem to have a community arm to what they do, don't they? I didn't know this till last year.
Sure, yeah.
So obviously we've been successful with 2, so I don't see why we can't do that with more. We did try with Liverpool. You put us in touch, didn't you, Derry? But
yeah.
I think there's a lot of clubs in Liverpool, so I can't be successful with every one. So sure. I just keep trying.
Sure. Charlotte, did you know Burnley's first team physio? He's one of our pros.
Is he?
Yeah, Brian Collins. He's just turned professional with us, and he's their first team physio. And 6 kids who box for me have all signed contracts for Burnley.
Really? Oh well, I didn't know that.
There's three brothers. One age 11, one's 11, one's 12, one's 13, and Burnley bought them off Manchester City.
I think you told me about this, but I hadn't made the connection. Thank you.
We've got loads of kids from and even Michael Jennings, who's our coach with me, his son's just signed 3-year deal with them.
Oh really?
So we've got a good connection. We've got a good connection with Burnley.
Yeah, I'd say
it comes in handy sometimes.
Yeah, that's right.
So tell us a little bit more about Sting Like a Bee.
Well, that was one of the big project really I set up first, because there was a young man who was killed in Hale, which isn't far from me. He was there was a knife involvement, and he lost his life, and it made me I was just trying to think, how can we help this? Why are we trying to solve the problem when the problem's there, rather than get these kids who are struggling to even think about picking a knife up? Isn't there something we can do prior to that? So we set up this project after a lot of thinking about what we could do, where we offer free sessions for children under 18s who are on that path, or potentially going to be up. So they may have not been involved in any crime or any criminal activity, but the school may have identified a problem, or the youth services may have, and we've introduced them to boxing and given them a free session once or twice a week at a club that they can go to. And there'll be other kids there that sit in a similar situation. We bring mentors in who may have turned their lives around through boxing within the clubs. So prime examples, Tommy's club at Collyhurst, he's got the pros working again, alongside the amateurs, and then Tommy's running these projects in the back of his boxing gym with kids, and then they can use people like Lyndon, who's had a tragedy in his family himself, and Zelfa, they come in and talk to these kids, and we get them to come to other clubs and talk to the kids, and we do team building days, we do first aid courses, we do all sorts of with them.
That's amazing.
That again was halted through COVID, but I think we well exceeded the numbers we had in the first 3 months. I think we connected with 220 young people across Manchester.
So you guys are about to get really busy again, I'm assuming, with lockdown finishing. Yeah, so a lot of those projects can maybe restart again. Tell us about obviously we know that you work with lots of different sort of demographics, lots of different people, schools, etc., etc.
Yeah.
Who are the kind of who are the people that we may know that you work with as well that are doing some great work?
You mean boxing clubs?
So there's a lot of faces, obviously like Derry, like Crawler, people like that you're working with.
Yeah. Gosh, I'll have to have a look on my.
On the spot.
Dave, down near Dave, we've got it's more southeast. We do Poseidon Inner City Boxing Club. I don't know whether you know them. I'm looking over here because my list's on the wall.
Yeah, it's Stu O'Connor. Yeah.
Yeah, we're just about to do a big project in the southeast. That's due to come off. Mick McGuire's gym up there.
Yeah, Jewelry Quarter.
We work with Delicious. He's an ambassador for Maverick. So he's basically just getting the word out about my charity by flexing his muscles on the social media. Yeah, and we do a lot in the Northwest, obviously, and a lot in Liverpool. We work with Kirkdale, Gemini, Bootle. You know that
Anfield.
Yeah, I've done a bit of work with Alan Walsh as well. He's been a great help.
Yeah, Bootle. Well, our regional, John Plumley. He's our registrar. He runs Bootle ABC with Lee Ponton. Lee Ponton is boxed with me for the Salisbury, former England international. He's a top referee as well now. Lee, good, two good, genuine guys, proper nice fellas. I do joint shows with them, if I'm honest. So maybe once a month, we'll put a show on. We'll split the card.
I'm lucky, really. All the people I've met are good guys that have come my way. Oh, Jane Couch, who you'll know, she's we're just working with her to set up a project at the end of April with street working ladies, shall we say. So they're going to be coming in the gym. Yeah, they're going to be coming in the gym and working with Jane to gain some self-confidence and some, she's going to teach them some techniques of self-defense. Just a safe place for them to come, really, a couple of hours a week. And what an inspiration she is.
It's great. I mean, it's great that she's back involved. She shouldn't have been away from it. She shouldn't have been pushed out of the sport, if I'm honest. No, she's the first female boxer we've had. For me, she should be a part of the GB setup because she's been there. She was the first one. So it's great.
You look at all these girls and young girls now and young ladies that are turning pro now. It's happening so quickly. A lot of them probably don't even know that they probably owe it to her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In some
I don't
respects,
think
she
I
was
do.
a trailblazer completely,
She was.
before anyone. So yeah.
It's even like with Audie Allison. I see a lot of Audie always gets a lot of social stick on social media, but without him, mate, there mightn't be any fun at all for England boxing, or GB, I should say.
Yeah, very true, very true. And also people like Conor Tudsbury, Chantel Cameron, as well. Obviously, not.
Yeah, Connor's an ambassador. He's on the. Is it the? I get so confused with it. It's the potential podium. Is that right? Does anyone know?
He was Ivan. He was on the Dice program as well, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was.
Who, Connor?
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
Yeah, he's such a lovely young man. He's done great things for me. Got involved in projects for Nigel to deliver. He delivers some of the Sting Like a Bee sessions with the young people there. He's a great coach. So it's giving him a chance to coach now as well, which I'm all for.
So yeah,
Adam, did you do the Dice program with Tony Chandler?
I ran the one in Brighton.
Oh no, yeah, because there's the one Tony Chandler. One of our pros was with Tony on that. Josh Wright, a kid called Josh Wright, who's come from the Salisbury where we box, and he's ended up with me.
Oh, great, fantastic.
So, but he's the same again from the same thing with Tony Chandler with the same pedigree. Do you know what I mean? So it's good stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Got the channel and the left hook, no doubt. So, okay, so we got obviously proof in the pudding down the bottom as well. Well, you're down the bottom of my screen, Mr. Rimmer. So tell us about the projects that you've been working with Maverick Stars, mate.
Yeah, sure. I think the first one probably started 2-3 years ago, maybe 2 years ago. And we worked with Maverick Stars to launch a all-girls project, basically trying to get more girls into the sport and then to form a club link and then to see how far we could take them, whether it just be for leisure or they want to go on and compete. So like I said, that was about 2 years ago. We got funded for the coaching hours, we got funded equipment, and we took the project into a school. It was during their school time, and we had a fantastic response. I think we had it was a small school, and I think we had about 25 girls. So it was a middle school as well. So they're I'm terrible age, between 10 and 13. So yeah, we had about 25 girls that rocked up. They stayed for the 6 weeks. And then fast forwarding a little bit from there, we had, I think, 6 that came to join the club. And just from that one school, 4 now boxed competitively for us, and 2 within a year of completing the program went out to Sweden and both won gold medals. So, that was one of the outcomes we were kind of hoping for, but it wasn't the major one. But yeah, that was the first project. And at one point, then more schools got involved. And at one point, not including the girls we were training at the club, we had over 80 girls that we were training every week from various schools. So it proved there was a massive demand for female boxing. And the club links worked perfectly because about a third of those girls were coming to join either our club or other clubs. So that was the first project. That's where we first sort of met Maverick Stars and I met Charlotte. And yeah, it was a brilliant project that continues to go from strength to strength. And we start back after the Easter holidays, we'll be back in the schools running the programs again.
And then we've got the academy running now.
Yeah, that's the first project. There's a few projects that we've done. So that was the first project. There was a second project when I looked back that we started. I don't think Charlotte probably remember this. We'd run 2 sessions and then lockdown hit. But we set up a Sting Like a Bee project at a school.
Oh, forgot, yeah.
Yeah, so we're actually in that school. We've been waiting to go back. We had 12 lads that signed up to the project. And we had great feedback from the teachers and within a couple of sessions of running it. So we're desperate to get back into the school, and they have been in contact with us. So we do have a Sting Like a Bee project that we're about to start again. So yeah, looking forward to that. We then, I think it was the Academy of Boxing that came next, which is obviously an ongoing program. So we got a school, I think it was the school that contacted England Boxing. It's a local school, they're a sports school. They have dancing and football are their main 2 specialisms. They also have a few golfers, a few tennis players, and they wanted to get involved in the boxing, got in contact with England Boxing, and it filtered down to me, I went and met the school, and we formed a program that sees, I say elite, we'd like it to be elite, but in our area, we unfortunately haven't got that many elite boxes. So I think there's about 4 boxes that go there that have had a couple of, I think they're on about 4 or 5 bouts. They're at a level that they are trying to push for the pathway, and they're trying to push and take their boxing further. So we run a program where they come to the club and do their technical training 4 hours a week, and then they do their strength and conditioning and nutrition training as well as academic training at the school. So that starts in year 9, and that goes right the way through to 6th form. So I did it voluntary because there was no funding from the school. They couldn't fund it because at the moment the numbers weren't great enough to actually warrant funding. But I knew that there was scope there for a great program. So I put down on paper what I thought would be a great program that we could run. Spoke to Charlotte and told her some of the plans I had and the visits and how maybe Maverick Stars might be interested in coming on board. And Charlotte was an absolute godsend with the support that she gave us. And now she's funding basically our academy. And we're looking to bring in a development arm of it as well, where we bring in boxers that they may not have started boxing, but they're showing an interest in it and they have good attributes maybe in the current sports that they're in. And we're looking to bring in a development program into it to bring other people across into the sport. So that's an ongoing project that has a lot of legs. It's we've got lots of things planned, but it started in September, so we were still technically not in lockdown, but we had so many restrictions placed on us that the kids have never been able to actually travel anywhere or do any of the things that we've got planned for them. But hopefully, the back end of this school year, we'll be able to take them. We'll be able to meet Charlotte in person, and to go out and do some of the things that Charlotte and I have planned for them. So that's the major ongoing project, which is like I say, been a great success. And we have a mentorship, Chantel, because obviously I've got a lot of female boxers. I think tonight we had 15. 15 of which 12 compete for us already. 3 are just waiting to get carded. So not many clubs that have 15 carded females, especially a club as big as Wimborne. I've lost my track of thought now. So that's it. So we got Leah, who's a very promising 10-year-old. And we set up a fantastic mentorship with Chantel Cameron. Again, I contacted Charlotte and she set it all up. So we went up there, met with Jamie, and obviously Chantel. That was before Christmas sometime. And now they have a little sort of bond, a little chat on social media. And again, looking forward to getting back to the competing side and maybe do a couple more visits up the road. So Maverick Stars have been unbelievable. Whenever I got a project, straight away I message Charlotte, we have a chat and we see where we can go with it. Sorry, my dog's making a noise. But yeah, brilliant. They've supported so many of the projects. They've helped more people than they probably even realised down south. And yeah, like I said, I can't thank them enough, but I'm looking forward to more projects and then working with them further.
What's it been like working with Dave, Charlotte? Pain in the arse or
awful
smile every morning?
Yeah, he's so hard to work with. Dave's just like the model person that you just want to. I just wish I wish Derry was more like him. He could.
Thanks. Dave, if I've got any problems, you're going to send them to you to send to Charlotte for me.
Derry more than my husband sometimes. No, I'm joking. No, Dave, you're great. He's great to work with. It's just because I'm lucky that you do this full time, don't you? So you've got the time to make the connections, and he's built up you've got a great community around you, and you know the school. So Dave comes up with the ideas, we talk them through, and it's really easy. It's great to work with. The other one we didn't talk about, Dave, then was the veterans that you're going to look to, hopefully.
Yeah, that's right. So yeah, obviously I'm ex-forces anyway, and then I've still got a lot of links to camps down in this area, SBS, Marines and Army, and we were setting up a veteran program. We've got some links to a lot of it's actually lads, but we've got links to some guys that can really benefit from something really positive like the veterans program that Charlotte and the Maverick Stars have deployed, and we're looking forward to getting that going, and we know we can fill it, and we know there's a great demand for it, even if they might not admit it themselves. There is a massive demand, and they will they will get a lot from it. So I'm really looking forward to getting
Yeah,
that.
we can't wait. It's been such a success that because my husband's ex-forces, he was a Green Jacket, and we set up this in Liverpool with John Rice at Gemini originally, the first pilot, and they just couldn't get they're quite away, aren't they, Derry, from John's?
Yeah, it's like
Across the
where the base 5 minutes from me. So, and John's about 30 minutes into rush hour, maybe 40 minutes.
Yeah, so we had to shift. So I moved the session over to Derry. So basically, we were just offering them free sessions. So they're part of a group of people that come from an addiction unit called Tom Harrison House. It's the only one in the country that's it's an addiction unit for veterans. It's an amazing place. They do loads of great things there, and it's a rehab basically. So they come out of rehab to go to Derry's gym, but they don't come once a week or twice a week. They now go 3 times a week to Derry's gym, and they do the online Zoom sessions, and it's been a lifesaver for them because because we were already doing it before lockdown, and it's classed as a support group. We've managed to keep it going, haven't we, through the whole lockdown? And they go to Derry's gym. You're doing a triathlon together, aren't you? And
yeah,
you do your showers. It's just been amazing. And we're doing. Sorry, let me just do this, and you can. We're doing the same project with Matthew Hatton over at his gym. He did a few sessions, and then we went into lockdown. And I think there's about three more, one in Sheffield, one in Sunderland, and one at Eccles as well. Go on, Derry, sorry.
Yeah, no, again, like with yourself, on the veterans program, if I wouldn't have met you, I wouldn't have been able to my gym would have been basically closed because I couldn't go in there. But obviously they needed training, they were an exception to be trained. So we were lucky enough that we could keep the gym open for them, and it's kept me busy as well. I mean, I'm a million mile an hour. I'd like to do everything. Like yesterday, I'm just busy. So it's been a massive help for me. And again, they've had like basically the run of the place. They're all good guys. They're all brilliant guys. And then they were talking about doing a triathlon. So I can't swim. I've never been able to swim. So I've actually signed up to do it with them as a bit of a challenge for myself. So I've got 9 months to train. I'm training with them on their program. What's that? Sorry.
You've been swimming yet?
Not yet. No. We can't. No pools open. We don't want allowed.
Got the Mersey.
So it's a little challenge for me, but it's good. And I've met good people. They're great guys. And even women. There's a few women on the course, and they're good people. They are very, very good people. And you've been a massive help to me, but an even bigger help to them.
Well, I'll tell you what. Something that strikes me. Obviously, we spoke earlier, Derry, and you said that it was you dropped a Facebook message or a text or something like that, in jest, and look what's happened. Look at the impacts.
Yeah.
I read a book a while ago about a guy talks about collisions, about how people, when they collide with each other, it creates energy, it creates heat. Particles hit, creates heat. It's the same thing here. You've collided with Charlotte in a very roundabout way, and because of that collision, things are happening. You're now speaking to these people, and you're impacting people all over the place just because of certain collisions.
Yeah.
Dave's down on the south coast. You've collided with him, and now he's working with schools, different people, veterans, services, all these kind of things, and it's massive. It's almost like you're a positive virus. There you go. You probably won't want to make that into a t-shirt, but
no.
Yeah.
But I think that's it. That's what I love doing, is finding the missing link. Because Derry's already doing amazing things in that gym. He didn't need me to do it. He's already doing it. All I'm doing is going, there's a group of people, and he'll just do that all day long. You just need to keep feeding him the people. And the great thing about what I'm so proud of with that project is we funded that for 8 weeks and bought a bit, some gloves for the guys. And I don't pay for that session now. I'll openly say it, because they've got so much funding because of these guys' needs and how established they are and being involved with the services. they pay Derry now to do these sessions. So we've established it and got it going, and then it's now I've handed it over to Derry and it's running beautifully, and the guys are, and that'll keep going. There'll be just a conveyor belt of people coming in the gym, and hopefully some of them might stay and be volunteers, and they just, they adore it there, being taught by a world champion and having Jazza in the gym, and they've got friends with them, and it's fantastic.
So it sounds like you're the kind of springboard. You're the springboard for them to be sustainable.
Yeah. But there must be hundreds and thousands of projects that could work like that. It's just having the time, because that's often what it takes. It's not always about the money, is it? It's the time, and Derry and I building a relationship, or me and Dave, the time you spend, give to that person to listen to their ideas and think that'll work for them. And I don't think, sadly, not all the CSOs in England boxing, you just haven't got the time for it, have they? They're just running on such a skeleton staff. They haven't got time to just sit and chat, have they, day in, day out to people.
Charlotte, that with the veterans, about 3 weeks ago, a guy come in, he was on the bag, and he was unbelievable. I went, he's boxed, he must have boxed. And then he's won 3 national titles, boxed for England.
Oh wow!
And I was like, wow. And I when you see someone, you just know that they're very, very talented. And then Shaq come in the gym, one of our pros, Jazza come in, and they were like, they were all talking to him, all made up with him, and he hasn't seen them for like 10 years.
Wow.
And he was like 25, and then after the age of 14 and 15, they said this kid was unstoppable. He was just, and then he went in the army, and then
maybe he'll get back.
Things happened, and now he won't leave me alone. He's full time in the gym every day, but it's good though. It's good. It's good things. Good things are happening. So I've got myself a little goal to get him ready, and fingers crossed, 12 months time we could box again.
There we go. That's what it's about, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And another thing that strikes me as well is how easy it seems to be able to just start these projects. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of work that goes into it, and there's a lot of organisation behind it in the background. But it's more, if you're trying to, go for a grant somewhere, it puts so many people off because they see all the stuff they've got to do, all the preparation, all this kind of language that they're reading on the screen, and go, bloody hell, it might as well be in Russian, But it just seems like it was very easy for you guys to just get this all off the ground.
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously I've got my own funding. It's my pot of money, and I can do, as long as it's for charitable purposes, I can do what I want with it. So Derry doesn't have to even fill in I don't think he's ever filled a form in, to be honest. Have you? I don't think he...
I'd never sent an email till I met you.
There you go.
I'd never. So you've learned me how to send an email. That's I'm old school. I'm pen and paper, and because I've boxed all my life. And I've had someone to do most of the things for me. I haven't had to use an email, and I forget passwords for everything I use. So
why should Derry be penalised to not get money to do what he's doing now? Why should that be allowed? Why can't he do what he's doing? And there's so many hurdles in. I've tried to fill forms in myself. I can't do it. I'm not smart, I didn't do well at school at all, but I'll give it a go. But there's just so many barriers. It just really frustrates me.
And look at
stopping people like him and like Dave. Well, not Dave as well, to not deliver projects because it's so complex.
That almost sounds like, I mean, I've not read your mission statement or whatever it might be. It almost sounds like that'd be one of the things on your mission statement, to remove boundaries, to remove hurdles.
Well, yeah, it's offering support, isn't it, to people, and giving them. There's a million ways to be smart, isn't there? I can do things Derry can't. He can do things I can't. We all, so we all just try and fit in like a jigsaw. So all the pieces he's missing, I'll find for him, and I'll bring them to him. And that I get joy from doing that.
Derry can box 6'1" people from South Africa.
Southpaws.
Yeah, probably.
No,
she was tough. I'll find you a picture of her. It was ridiculous.
That's another story we won't go into. Okay, here's a question for you. What's the future hold for Maverick Stars?
Just more of the same. just get those gyms open and let me do what I do best. And I want to get Sting Like a Bee nationwide. I want that really pumping through the country. People are already doing it. It's just more structured. You know, there's loads of these knife campaigns out there. I met someone today in Derry's gym. Everybody's doing it, but it's having it so structured. So you've got an exit route for these kids as well. They're not just doing a bit of boxing and not coming back. I want to get them CVs set up, job opportunities, sponsorships, scholarships, opportunities for education that they've missed out on. That's what I'd love, because my main goal for setting a charity up was to support underprivileged and deprived kids, because that's mainly what we're dealing with here in these boxing clubs, aren't they? Giving them a second chance, giving them hope.
Charlotte, you missed the hostel out to work with as well.
Oh God, yeah, forgot about that.
So I work with a hostel. What's over the road? Is through Charlotte. And two of them guys, two of them kids who are, when I say kids, they're 17, 18, two of them have gone on to get jobs from people in the gym. They're like, we've got businessmen in the gym, and they give two of the guys jobs from, again, they've come through from Mavericks, come in the gym, and they've gone and got themselves a job, and they're both kids went in tonight.
Incredible. It's legacy, isn't it? Everything's about legacy, chance, giving people opportunities. You know, it's brilliant. I know these sound like buzzwords, don't they? They sound like something you'd pull up in an interview, but they're so cliche, because that's what's actually happening, you know, day to day. So it's brilliant. And you know, I've made a note of what you just said there. Get those gyms open and let me do what I do best. That's your t-shirt. That's your t-shirt.
That's all I want to do. And to raise my profile, I do want to do that, just so, because people sometimes get a bit confused about what a middle-aged woman from Cheshire is doing, mooching around a boxing gym in Liverpool. Why am I doing it? What's her ulterior motive? Why is she there? What does she want? I don't want, honestly, Derry and Dave will tell you, I don't want anything. I just really want to help. I've got the tools to be able to help, and I just want to help as many people as I can.
And I know lots of clubs, I've spoken with so many coaches over the years that just don't apply for funding, suffer in silence because of that barrier of just worrying that I can't do this. You know, maybe they're not the most, I don't know, literate person, you know, when it comes to a computer or what have you. And hearing you say this, when this goes out live, well, when we post this, I'm sure there were lots of people saying, it's great to hear that. It's great to hear that, because that's my biggest worry. That's my biggest, scariest thought, knowing that I have to do round after round with the laptop, and I don't know how to do it. So it's almost like you take that from them. Yeah.
Well, Derry's never had to say to me, I can't fill a form in. I've never had that conversation. It's just, you can tell when somebody's resisting doing it, can't you? You know, when I can sense it. And I've had people before, I've asked them to fill a form in, and they've then confided that they can't write or read. So that frustrates me, that has to be a barrier. And, you know, there is an element of trust that I'm lucky I've got, because I built relationships up with people. So I'm lucky I've got that. I've got the time to build those relationships.
Well, speaking of relationships, our mantra on the Box Gathering is connect, share, grow. It's about connecting people together, very similar to what you do, sharing information, sharing ideas, sharing thoughts, sharing resources, and from that you grow. Whatever your goal is, whatever your remit, you will start growing from that. So, you know, it's got me thinking, you know, how we can support each other perhaps, and, you know, we have a similar mindset in terms of what we want to do with the sport, growing the sport and helping people. You know, that's ultimately why people should be in coaching, is to develop people, not just about developing athletes. So it's something I think that we can have a really good chat about and be excited to chat about. So how can people get in contact with you? So if they've heard this and they've gone, right, need to speak to that Charlotte, how do they get hold of you?
There's a contact form on my website, maverickstars.co.uk. So they can fill that in. They could DM me on my social media pages. I don't give my mobile number out, because it'd go crazy. I wouldn't have any time ever.
And I'm on the phone to you mostly.
He's on the phone to me constantly. No, but if you just do an inquiry that way, I can direct it then to because I've got a few people who support me with a few bits and pieces.
Sure.
Yeah.
And big test now, big test. Do you know your off by heart your social media handles? Because I could always forget mine. Your Instagrams.
No.
Dave might know. Dave's really good with these sort of
Dave
things.
knows everything about it.
Dave
Most of them are at Maverick Stars, and one of them is at Maverick Stars 1. I think it's the Twitter one. But there's not many Maverick Stars. If you search for Maverick Stars, will come up, I think. And if you just share, what we're doing. I mean, I'm fortunate. I've got people like Jamie involved and Crawler and Derry and people like that who've really raised my profile. But it's not for self. It's not for self gain. It's just to get the. Well, I lie because at least I'm going to get some good seats at boxing matches, hopefully. But yeah, I just want to get the word out there of what we're doing and help more people.
Absolutely. So, chaps, just before we go, any final thoughts, Dave, Derry, before we sign off?
From myself, I just want to say thanks, Charlotte, again, and thanks for yourselves for having me on. But this last year, obviously with the COVID and everything, what's happened, again, I wouldn't be on this chat with you if I never met Charlotte and everything she's done for myself and the kids at the club, the coaches at the club. It's been a massive help, and long may it continue. And as she's just said, then let's hope she can go on to help many more clubs. Every boxing club needs help, and every boxing club needs to bring funding in. As Charlotte first said to me, I can't always. I funded my club myself for a couple of years. I've done everything in there, and Charlotte said it can't last forever because I've got a family and that's to look after, and other coaches most probably the same. You put everything into it, and massive help. Thank you very much, and long may it continue. And I'll phone you in a bit.
Yeah, just a little bit sort of echoing what Derry said. Just a massive thanks straight out to Charlotte. As I mentioned earlier, she's helped more people than she will ever know. And if they could all be here now, they'd all like to say thank you. I'm sure they would. So for me, from all of them, obviously thank you. And then to any clubs or coaches that are watching this, that it couldn't be any easier, and Charlotte and the team couldn't be any more approachable. So if you're doing a project or something in the community, something that you just need a little bit of a hand with, or you've got an idea that you think you could help people out with, get in contact, because she's approachable. She'll listen. She'll come out with her own ideas. And the main thing is it's easy. So yeah, get in contact, and they'll be there to support you like they have me, Derry, and plenty of others. So yeah, that's my final thoughts really. Yeah, thank you, Charlotte.
And obviously that there's been a lot of compliments thrown your way there, Charlotte. But I'd just like to point out now that we asked you if you'd like to come on. Not you didn't chase us. From the very little we know about you, a very humble person and selfless person. So, we asked you. So it's great to hear so many positive things come out from the project. Long may it continue. Long may it continue to have the impact it's having on people, not just boxers, but people. And I think that's the most important thing. So from me and Ivan, thanks for coming on today. Really appreciate it. We really look forward to getting this out and just seeing how much more of an impact you guys can do in the country. So thanks again, guys.
Thanks for joining us today on The Box Gathering. We welcome the global boxing community to connect and share together in order to grow participation, engagement and performance in all our boxers. Join the discussion on social media or visit theboxgathering.co.uk for more interviews, skills videos, literature reviews, bout analysis and more. The Box Gathering, in partnership with England Boxing. Connect, share, grow.